In the Quran, in Surah An-Nisa, Ayah 34, it says, "Men are in charge of women, because Allah hath made the one of them to excel the other. As for those women from whom ye fear rebellion, admonish them, and banish them to beds apart, and scourge them." So women are allowed to be beaten by their husbands not only for rebelling, but if their husbands even fear rebellion. And rebellion is very loosely defined. For example, in section M1012 of Reliance of the Traveler, the classic manual of Islamic sacred law, not allowing the husband lawful sexual enjoyment of her person, or leaving the house without permission constitutes rebellion on the part of the wife. The commentaries add, "You have the right on them, that they do not allow any person whom you dislike to step on your mat. However, if they do, you are allowed to discipline them lightly. They have a right on you that you provide them with their provisions and clothes in a reasonable manner." Ibn Abbas and several others said that the ayah refers to a beating that is non-violent. Al-Hasan al-Basri said that it means a beating that is not severe, according to Tafsir Ibn Kathir. In Tafsir al-Jalalain, men have the authority over women, disciplining them and keeping them in check because of that with which God has preferred the one over the other. That is because God has given the men the advantage over women in knowledge, reason, authority, and otherwise, and because of what they expend on them, the women, of their property, meaning that the men financially support the women. This is codified again in section M1012 of the Reliance of the Traveler. A man may beat his rebellious wife as long as he does not break any bones or cause blood to flow. He may hit her once or more than once. Sayyid Maududi adds in his commentary, "As to a beating, the Holy Prophet allowed it very reluctantly, and even then did not like it. But the fact is that there are certain women who do not mend their ways without a beating." How did Muhammad implement discipline of women among the first Muslims? According to the best sources, Muhammad even hit his favorite wife, Aisha. In Sahih Muslim 2127, Muhammad struck Aisha on the chest and caused her pain. Unfortunately, Muhammad wasn't the only person who struck Aisha. In Sahih al-Bukhari 4608, Abu Bakr came to me and hit me violently on the chest. I kept as motionless as a dead person because of the position of Allah's Messenger on my lap, although Abu Bakr had hurt me. Keep in mind, Abu Bakr was Aisha's father. It appears the women of the first Muslims weren't treated very well. Aisha would agree in Sahih al-Bukhari 5825. Aisha said that the lady came wearing a green veil and complained to Aisha of her husband and showed her a green spot on her skin caused by beating. Aisha said, "I have not seen any women suffering as much as the believing women. Look, her skin is greener than her clothes." Muhammad did not discipline the husband for beating this woman who, incidentally, wanted a divorce from her husband. In fact, he did the opposite. Muhammad had a law in this case that in order to divorce, you must first have full sexual enjoyment of each other's person. So later in the same hadith, Muhammad says, "If that is your intention to remarry her previous husband, then know that it is unlawful for you to remarry Raifa, your first husband, unless Abdurrahman, the abusive husband, has had sexual intercourse with you." Here is a woman beaten by her husband until her skin turned green, and the only way she can get divorced is if she has sexual intercourse with her abuser. There are limits in Sunan Abu Dawud 2137. Do not strike her on the face. Do not revile her or separate yourself from her except in the house. But before you champion this hadith as a quantum leap forward for women's rights, according to Bukhari in 5541, Muhammad also forbade beating animals on the face. So according to Muhammad, you can't beat women or animals on the face. Unfortunately, as we continue through this series, you will have an increasingly difficult time telling the last two apart.